Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. So, recently, I think it was yesterday, Konami announced a new spell card, Time-Rending Morganite, I believe is how you pronounce it. And it's actually a crazy spell card, crazy good spell card. It's basically a double summon plus a pot of greed every turn. So obviously, well, no, there's a downside. The downside is that as soon as you use a card, you can't use monster effects from the hand. So no hand traps, for example, no Chinese, for example. You get the point. So I guess, you know, it's not really a card that you can splash into basically every top tier deck. I'm just looking at like anti-meta-ish decks. They don't really, you know, use those in-hand monster effects. Traptrix here in this case does have a couple of those. I'm only main decking two of them. Once there's the green one that can special summon itself from the hand for free, and then the other one that banishes itself from the graveyard to get back, what is it, a whole card from the graveyard. Just in case, right? Since again, this Morganite, the spell is not searchable. I mean, there are ways with the new talents, the tactics card, right? But you know, generally speaking, it's not really searchable directly. Unless you open with it. Is it a problem that if you don't open with it? No, not really. It's just an extra. Obviously, if you're going well first or second, getting those extra draws every turn, it adds up really quickly. So it's basically a huge snowball effect, and especially for anti-meta decks that already turn the game state into a really slowish duel. Those extra 2 draws every draw phase, that's really crazy. Plus, of course, the double summon every turn. Again, it's a normal spell, you get the effects after that, so crazy card. So I'm looking at, or I wanted to look at a deck that can capitalize on the normal summon, you know, the gadget-like, or Stratos, when Stratos is summon search, another Stratos for example. Traptrix is something like that, like, it has multiple cards that can trigger on normal summon, plus the new Traptrix cards that were revealed some time ago from their structure deck, they also got a field spell that gives the deck an extra normal summon. So basically, this deck gives you 3 normal summons each turn, so with that new spell plus the field spell from Traptrix. Crazy cool. Plus, let's not forget, if you already activated the new spell, it's a pot of greed every turn, you know, during a regular draw phase. So crazy good. I saw people commenting and they already called this new card, what is it, the next master rule. I found that hilarious, that's a cool one. So now going first, going second. Obviously Traptrix, as we know from like Master Duel or before, it's obviously a go first deck. Because the most obvious reasons, but it can definitely go second. Having the 6th card, but looking at the current format, like top tier Sprite, top tier Ishizu tier, no way this deck is going to, you know, compete with that. But obviously by the time you're getting this, you know, those decks might get weakened. And in all honesty, I have a replay against Sprite, or you know, the current Sprite variant, I guess, with Pistials and Fenrir, yes or no. But like look at the deck, look at the Traptrix deck. It's not running any light or dark, so it has a superb matchup against that. Unless you're going second, and then you have to deal with triple Toad, and that's a problem. But let's face it, that's a problem for almost any deck. And who knows, Toad might get the X soon. Or at least by the time we're getting these cards. So going second still stays a problem, still stays somewhat, you know, something iffy. Post game number 1, game number 2, game number 3 with Sci-Tech. But, I mean, it's still an anti-meta deck. I mean, with the new cards, they have like a Destiny draw as well. Their new field spell gives them an extra normal summon. Plus this new spell, again, like opening, like going first, immediately activating it, or, you know, after some plays, maybe force out stuff from your opponent, thinking that you only have 1 normal summon. Again, it's something to capitalize on, maybe force out an early Imperm or Ash or something like that. So again, that torrential instant 3-off here in the deck, because basically all the extra deck monsters from Traptrix say that they're basically unaffected by trap cards, but they need materials in case of the exceeds, I think. Also the most right one is actually pretty good, like Detach. It's basically a King of the Feral Imp, so Detach to search a Traptrix from deck. Again, pretty cool. And also this new trap, I think it's just fine as a 2-off. I don't like the discard cost. It's very similar to Shade Brigadier, you know, it's a trap that you can set immediately activated, but you need to discard, I think, a normal trap for that. And I'm not sure, I don't really like it that much. Plus it's searchable off of Myrmilio, off of Sarah, so I don't see the need to play more. The Graveyard effect, on the other hand, is pretty cool. So this, again, a situation that I was talking about earlier, like normally you only have one normal summon, but this new spell, again, can catch your opponent by surprise by giving you the extra normal summon and, you know, keep snowballing multiple monsters on board. Plus, again, Myrmilio was able to surge that new trap, and again, that gets you more monsters on board. And I believe this is almost pretty much the perfect Traptrix board, as in Sarah on field, plus Rafflesia for more protection. Depends, did you have any extenders or not, right? Or did you have the new red one that, again, has the capability to surge the field spell? I forgot the name. Pudika, I believe the name is. Anyway, so going for the new Exceed, Detach to Search. Again, that straddles upon normal summon, search another Traptrix, because, I don't know, at this point, I'm at least every turn I have 2 normal summons. That's cool. But again, I have to make sure that eventually, if the field spell is not banished, I can just, you know, search out the field spell with this one. Again, getting that 3 normal summons every turn, plus the Pot of Greed, right? Every draw phase. And here, what I was talking about, like, because your deck is, like, doesn't play any light or darks, at least in the current format where, you know, decks are going heavy Bestial. Again, it might be different when we are actually getting the cards, but, I mean, the matchup is pretty okay. It's actually pretty good. Simply because of Floodgate Trap Hole, and, you know, you're playing so many cards that could potentially turn or can get rid of your opponent's level 2 monster on the field. So, you know, they can't snowball into more Sprite cards. Going second against Sword Soul this time, and this hand is... yes. People might suggest Prosperity. Is it better than Desires? Yes and no. Thing is that, like, here in this situation, Desires getting that +1 in an anti-meta deck is superb. Especially because of this, right? Going second, you have to deal with an already established board. Then getting that extra card from a Desires, then that's much better than Prosperity. Maybe post-side deck when you're actually digging for stuff like Dark Ruler or Evenly Matched, then Prosperity might be better. The thing is that Traptrix also got a new Destiny draw. I was like, in theory, it's a good card. I dropped it to 2 in the main deck. Like, you know, potentially discarding a whole card, getting it back with Devianart, stuff like that. That's cute, but, like, in all honesty, it's most of the damage just getting Ash Blossomed or something like that, so I'm not so sure. And I guess running the new draw, the Destiny draw with Prosperity, you know, could kind of conflict, right? So that's why I'm going for Desires, but there's many reasons not to go for Desires. So anyway, this is also cool, you know, that Trap could banish itself from the graveyard and then special summon a Traptrix from the graveyard, and then I think it's again Pudika, the red one, that when it's like special summoned, you can hit an opponent's special summoned monster. I think it's banished, yeah, it should be. So again, that's cool, but I think your opponent can special summon a banished monster during the next standby phase, or is it during their next standby phase? It's something like that. So this board, it's... like, for regular Traptrix, if I didn't have that extra normal summon, GG. Like, no way I can come back from this. I was thinking, you know, there were a couple of options to go for the Traptrix route, but why go for that, even though I'm super low on life points plus attack points? Just go for Zeus. Excitanite is there as well, but Excitanite destroys. So going for Zeus was a superior move, plus that new Traptrix gives me the extra follow-up play. And here is where this new spell again comes into play. If the duel turns into a grindy game, those 2 draws every turn, like, again, sick. Kinda unfair, borderline unfair, but again, that doesn't make this card broken. It's just a good card, and that restriction is kinda big for most decks. So again, in full control of the duel, that Zeus kind of equalized, well, a bit more for me here, but again, was able to bounce back the Floodgate Trap Hole as well, and now it should be my duel, right? Even though I'm super low on life points, making sure that I won't get burn damaged by a long one, but again, you have that Gravedigger's Hole, I believe the name is, yeah, giving your opponent 2k burn damage, and then negate any cards or any monster effect in hand, yeah, it's something like that. So again, in full control of the duel, making sure that I have the Link 2 that, you know, flips down an activated hole card, having Sarah to potentially snowball into more cards. Mantis most on the right, I guess is okay, maybe post game 2 and game 3, or post game 1, you want to have that green one, the one that protects your back row from destruction. you know, that might be crucial. Plus, and that's something cool, you have seen it in one of the previous duels against Kashtira, is the new rank 4 Exceed, the one, you know, the King of the Feral Imps. When like a card is banished, or what is it, sent to the graveyard? No, banished, I think. You can target like a card from your opponent that's banished and put it at one of its Exceed materials. So again, really, really nice. Potentially, you know, kind of dodging or interrupting Kashtira, because again, Kashtira is going to be a super important deck soon for us TCG players. I think this is the last one. Go and here again, I was talking about you. Like here, opening double spell, that's not the best. I guess Konami gave this the last beneficial effect that you can banish it from the graveyard. Discard another copy from your hand, the same copy, same card, and then I think your opponent cannot activate monster effects on your normal summons for the rest of the turn. So I guess that's okay. It kind of prevents Veiler on summon, Ash on summon, so that's okay. But again, not the best, but I mean, it's better than nothing, right? So yeah, again, fantastic opening board. Serra for, you know, search plus special summon from deck. I can interrupt with Pudika, I believe the name is, on the left, was able to search, whatchamacallit, any Traptrix from the deck, plus Rafflesia again. So that's basically almost, was it 2 interruptions, I think, you know, post double hand trap, let's not forget that. So again, get another search. So now that left Exceed is kind of useless, you know, was able to search the trap because of Serra, and that's so cool, right? Just Shade Brigadier, I still think is a 3-off staple, even though it might be dead late game. You can just discard it with the Destiny Draw, or, you know, with other cards. So I think it's just so good of a card to get that trap activation during your first turn is so crucial for the deck. So again, 3 normal summons every turn, and again, it's just so much. Too much for most decks, unless of course, you know, you're playing against Ishizu tier, but like Ishizu tier is on a completely different level for us, at least for, you know, the current meta, right? So it's really cool. This new spell is really, really nice, like looking at spirits, for example, that can capitalize on this, or maybe ritual decks. I don't know, but again, using those multiple normal summons for more searches, I kind of dig that, but that restriction is kind of big. It is what it is. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Leave signing out. Peace.